سو سب سے پہلے تو ہمارے ساتھ ڈاکٹر کیسر انیس صاحب ہیں, who is the honorary vice chairman and founding president of PBPC. Then we have Mr. Ajit Kumar from Pakistan Stock Exchange, chief regulatory officer. مرتضی عباس صاحب ہیں جوائنٹ ڈائریکٹر SECP. دین ابھی آپ کے ساتھ ہمیں جوائن کر رہے ہیں محمد علی بھابا صاحب, who is the چیف انویسٹمنٹ آفیسر HBL ایسٹ مینجمنٹ لمیٹڈ. اسامہ یعقوب صاحب سے ابھی سلام دعا ہو رہی تھی. سو ہی از دا وائس پریزیڈنٹ ریجنل مینیجر ساؤتھ JS Global, and of course Mr. Mohammad Iqbal Naseem, who is also joining from the Pakistan Business Professional Council Abu Dhabi. So Mohammad Iqbal Saab, if you like to begin, I think let's begin the program today.
شکریہ فہد صاحب. السلام علیکم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. اللہ کے نام سے شروع کرتے ہیں. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. انا اعطیناک الکوثر فصلی لربک وانحر ان شانئک هو. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. اللهم صل علی سیدنا محمد النبی المی وعلیہ وصحبہ وبارک وسلم. میں پاکستان بزنس پروفیشنل کونسل کے فورم سے سب کو خوش آمدید کہتا ہوں, خاص طور سے ہمارے مرتضی عباس صاحب اینڈ اجیت کمار صاحب تو نہیں ہے میرے خیال سے. اجیت کمار اس وقت میں نہیں ہے. نہیں, اجیت کمار نہیں ہے. اسامہ یعقوب صاحب کو اینڈ محمد علی بھابا صاحب کو, اینڈ آف کورس ہمارے فاؤنڈنگ پریزیڈنٹ اینڈ وائس چیئرمین ڈاکٹر سید کیسر انیس, جو فائنینس کے تو ایکسپرٹ ہیں یہاں پر, لیکن اس کے ساتھ ساتھ ان کی پاکستان سے محبت اور اسپیشلی روشن ڈیجیٹل اکاؤنٹ میں جو ان کا کام ہے وہ پوری دنیا نے اس کو دیکھا اور اس کے ریزلٹس پاکستان کو ملے. اس کے ریزلٹس تو میں اس فورم سے سب کو خوش آمدید کہتا ہوں, اور میں اپنے اوورسیز پاکستانی سے کہتا ہوں کہ دس از دا گلوبل اپارچونیٹی بائی انویسٹنگ ان شریعہ کمپلائنٹ میوچل فنڈ اسٹاکس اینڈ سکuk to support Pakistan's economic development, align their investment with Islamic principles, benefit from growing returns in a robust and ethical market. And 55% of the Pakistan capital market is now Sharia compliant, which is a great achievement, sir. میں آپ کو سب کو اس میں مبارکباد دیتا ہوں کہ آپ لوگ بہت اچھا کام کر رہے ہیں. تو میں اس کے ساتھ ساتھ میں اپنے آپ کو واپس کرتا ہوں. فیض صاحب, over to you. Proceed further.
جی بہت شکریہ. سو وی شیل بگن ٹوڈیز پروگرام, اینڈ اجیت صاحب ہمارے ساتھ بالکل موجود ہیں. ان فیو مومنٹس فرام ناؤ یو ول سی ہم انشاءاللہ, اینڈ وی شیل بگن ود دی پریزنٹیشن.
جی السلام علیکم ایوری ون. جی السلام علیکم ایوری ون. سوری کیسر صاحب, I was sitting next Fahad.
I'm so sorry. It's okay, fine. Sorry from us. We didn't see you. Of course, آپ لیڈ کریں سر. پاکستان اسٹاک ایکسچینج کئی مینجمنٹ زبردست ہے. ابھی میڈم شمشاد صاحب کے ساتھ we have a good interaction. You are very fortunate that she is there.
We are also blessed that we are having Dr. Shamshad, the chair of PSX board, as well as also chairing the Regulatory Affairs Committee, to whom I report.
Very
competent. Her.
Very competent lady. My regards to her.
No doubt about it. So, shall we start, sir?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my pleasure being part of this important webinar today. And I'm also glad that the efforts are being put in by the different capital market infrastructure institutions locally as well as also internationally for mobilizing the target market for imparting knowledge on the regulatory front as well as also on the product suite for the PSX and other capital market institutions. So we are lucky that we are having a good group of participants today and also lucky that we are among the very distinguished speakers today. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, everyone. So my presentation will specifically be covering some of the important self-regulatory functions of the PSX, as well as investor protection measures which are in place, which are driven from the law. And the law is coming from the SECP and also self-designed by the PSX by virtue of having the powers to make the regulation for the capital market under the Securities Act 2015. So as you can see in the slide, we have a very much aligned capital market ecosystem, which is aligned with the international practices. You can see in the slide that the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan is the apex regulator of the capital market of Pakistan. It is regulating the capital market, NBFCs, insurance, and the corporate sector. And under the SECP, we have the capital market infrastructure institutions, which include CDC, PSX, and NCCPL, and we have the license to work as the different organizations for the capital market, also make regulation, also enforce regulation for the protection of rights and assets of the investing public. And just as a common structure hota hai, we have different type of investors who are trading through the brokers, and they can also trade indirectly through the mutual funds. And we are classifying the investor into 4 categories: local retail, local institution, foreigners, and also the foreign institutions. And by the way, NCCP is also working as the central counterparty, guaranteeing the trades executed at the PSA as the counterparty for everyone. So the mission of securities market regulators, it's primarily divided into 3 parts. The mission is to protect the investors, ensure fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and also to facilitate the capital formation. And if you can see the mission statement of PSX, that is very much aligned with the international regulatory objectives of different securities market regulator. PSX contributes to the economic development of Pakistan by providing a fair, transparent, and efficient marketplace to facilitate the capital formation for the benefits of investors, issuers, and all the stakeholders. You can see a mission statement is centered around the investor protection, also the capital formation, which are the primary objectives of the securities market regulator world over. So we have the 2-tier regulatory market, regulatory structure in the capital market. On top of the SECP and under the SECP comes the different SROs. We are 4 at the moment: PSX, CDC, NCCPL, and the Commodity Exchange. The SECP has the powers to make the rules and also examine the regulated entities and also enforce the regulation through different regulatory tools. Similarly, the function I take care of in PSX is somewhat similar to the functions of the SECP. As in the PSX, we also make regulations for the brokers and also for the listed companies. So it's not just making the regulation, but also checking the compliance by the brokers and the listed company with the set regulations which are in effect. And if there is any kind of deviation or non-compliance, we take the penal actions, and a purview extend to the brokers and the listed companies. And we have different tools that we'll learn in the next slide, that how do we detect the non-compliances by the brokers or the listed companies. So we have programs mentioned. You can see how do we detect the non-compliances or inspect the entities. The broker should have their own policies and procedures. The broker should have the compliance programs which are helping them in making compliant with the applicable rules and regulations. And in turn, they are reporting their compliances to the PSS from time to time. And on a set frequency, we go and inspect the brokers and also check out if they are compliant with the applicable regulations. So it's self-driven, also enforced by the PSX through the inspections. Some of the very important capital market regulatory frameworks which are in place on top of the Companies Act 2017, Securities Act 2015, By the way, Securities Act is the act which is giving PSS the power to make the regulations for the broker and for the listed companies. It's very important act from the PSS point of view. And we have the separate Futures Market Act, which is governing the futures trading, listed companies, CCG regulations, SCCP rules and regulation for the centralized compensation customer protection fund, licensing and operational regulations of PSX, CDC, and NCCPL. We have our own integrated PSS rule book and having around 24 different chapters, and they are specifying the different duties of the brokers, listed companies, and also different products that we have, and also the trading rules based on which the brokers conduct their affairs. And then we have securities broker licensing and operations regulations. Under these regulations, the brokers are operating as the brokers duly licensed by the SCCP, and their powers and functions are also, and the obligations also set out in these regulations. Again, very important, SCCP AML CFT regulations 2020, they are in place. And since the promulgation of these regulations, the market is up to standard with international practices by complying with so many recommendations of the FATF. Besides having the regulations, we also have the power to issue the notifications, issue the circulars, and also guidelines or the interpretation for making the compliance easier for the regulated entities. So I was talking about the tactics that we apply to detect the non-compliances or to ensure that the brokers are operating within the rules of the regulations. So we do on-site inspection, and we do inspection of the broker. We go and inspect the books of accounts and also interact with the compliance officer, and at times different personnel like CEO, CFO, company secretary, to obtain information and also inquire about the state of compliance with different set of regulations. Besides having the on-site inspection, we also monitor broker through the off-site monitoring on periodic basis, on a monthly basis, on a fortnightly basis, on a quarterly basis. The brokers are required to submit various set of information like liquid capital, net worth, customer complaint, grievance report, and also the website compliance report. And in addition to that, the brokers are also required to submit to the exchange on a fortnightly basis the client asset segregation report. This is by far the most important report that is filed by every broker to the exchange on a fortnightly basis. And in this client asset segregation report, we come to know that the assets of the clients are fully segregated from the assets of the broker, and they are sufficiently maintained in the client bank account and also in the CDC in terms of shares. Market surveillance through the robust market surveillance system that we have, which we deployed around 2 years back with the new trading system. The system is robust in a way that it detects the market anomalies in terms of price deviations or the abnormal volumes executed in a particular stock. And we get periodic alerts and the reports from the system, and we monitor, review, and assess these alerts and reports to find out if there is any kind of wrongdoing done by the market participants in the market. And this is done on the broker's proprietary account and also on the client's accounts. We also do this on individual basis, on a UIN basis, or on a cumulative basis, on a group basis, that if there is a group of people who are combining their objectives together and they are trying to mislead the market through the artificial means. So we have different tools and alerts that are designed in the system, which are robust and sufficient to provide us the basic information to evaluate further the nature of the trade, if that is genuine or artificial. And if you find there is something suspicious going on in the market, we make a report for the SCCP and refer the case to the SCCP that we have sufficient grounds to believe that there is some kind of market manipulation or maybe the insider trading or any other kind of abuse taking place in the particular stock. And SCCP should watch this particular stock from their own perspective and take the penal action against the culprits. And we also come to know about different type of wrongdoings or the violation that are done through the agents or through the employees of the brokerage house when we engage in the arbitration. So we have the arbitration platform where we provide opportunity to the customer that if you are not satisfied with the services of the broker, or if you have any kind of grievance with the broker, you can file your complaint first with the broker, and if you are not satisfied, you can escalate your complaint to the stock exchange, and we start the arbitration process. In the arbitration process, we have the independent committee comprising of the industry experts who provide hearing opportunity to both the parties and also decide the case transparently, independently, and the order is communicated to both the parties. And whosoever is declared to have broken the law is subject to the compliance as written in the arbitration order. Again, if someone is not satisfied with the arbitration order, we have the appellate forum. We provide the appellate forum for the aggrieved party to file the appeal against the arbitration award. So these are some of the common tools that we apply to constantly watch the market, to understand the state of compliance by the brokers, and also find out if there is any kind of wrongdoing done in the market, or there is any kind of violation that should be timely detected, and also corrective measures should be taken. Some forms of market abuses you can see in this slide. Insider trading, market manipulation. Market manipulation is very broad in term, and it contains various forms. For example, wash trades, blank sales, matched orders, pump and dump, hype and dump, fictitious bidding. These are different type of strategies, or you can say the tools that are adopted or deployed by the market practitioners to abuse the market. The object is to either drag the price up or drag the price down in one's own favor or in the favor of a group. Or sometimes it is observed that if there is any thinly traded stock which does not have sufficient float in the market, that stock can be energized in terms of having the larger or the abnormal trading in that particular stock. And by virtue of large trading executed in that stock, the market gets to know that there is something happening in the stock, and they start trading or they start investing in that stock. Again, this is considered suspicious because market trade has to be natural, not artificial. If there is any fundamental based information in the company, the market is open for anyone to trade in that stock. So we see that if there is any kind of material information that is around the stock, and after the release of material information, the trading is taking place, that is considered normal. But if these are not the indicators, then we consider this abnormal and make a report for the SCCP. Some of the important regulatory guardrails that are in place to protect the assets and rights of the investors. First of all, we have mentioned that the account opening process has to be standard for every broker and for every customer. We have prescribed the account opening form. CDC has also done it for the sub account holders, and we have done it for the trading account. Sorry. Every broker is required to perform the KYC and the CDD of every customer. We have not allowed third-party check on both ends. You cannot receive funds from the third party, or you cannot issue checks other than the customers. We have also put restriction on the acceptance of funds beyond 25,000. Up to 25,000 cash is allowed. If there are some circumstances which are causing the broker to get the cash over 25,000 from the customer, those circumstances should be reported to the exchange. We have provided a system to the broker that if you are taking cash more than 25,000 from a customer, you must report this instance to the stock exchange. Every broker must maintain proper books of accounts, which are audited by the external auditor and also audited by our own inspection teams during inspections. This is the most important element of the brokers' affairs, the segregation of customers' assets. Brokers must keep their assets segregated from the client's assets. And for this purpose, we have stipulated in the law that there has to be a customer bank account in the name of customer, and client's money should be parked in that client bank account. And every customer who are owning the share should have their shares duly parked in their own sub accounts. There should not be any kind of commingling of the funds or the securities with the funds and securities of the broker itself. Every trade should have the pre-trade instructions. In case of dispute or the arbitration, the most powerful tool that we have to verify the compliance by the broker is the existence of the pre-trade instructions. If there is pre-trade instruction, we can rely on the customer that the particular trade which has taken place in the system is not in accordance with the pre-trade instructions. We can easily find out who is right, who is wrong, if there is the evidence. So therefore, we are required under the law that every trade should have the pre-trade instructions in the written form. Every trade executed on the trading system should have the trade confirmation transmitted to the clients within 24 hours. This is actually the confirmation to the customer that whatever he or she has traded in the market during the whole day, it's the confirmation that the trade is executed exactly in accordance with the given instruction to the broker by the client. And if there is any deviation in the contract note, the customer must report this deviation to the broker within 2 days. And if there is no particular remedial action taken by the broker, the customer must escalate this particular issue to the stock exchange for intervention. Transmission of quarterly statement of securities and cash. We have required every broker to transmit quarterly statement to every client, which must contain the securities position and the cash position, having the opening balance, activity during the quarter, and also the closing balance. This provides a fair idea to every customer that where do they stand in terms of cash and securities at the end of every quarter. Effective complaint handling mechanism, as I mentioned, that we have the dispute resolution platform in the form of arbitration in the appeal. In case of default, customer protection post broker default forfeiture, you can see we have the waterfall. We apply the different resources to convert those assets into the cash and eventually find out what are the genuine claims and pay to the genuine claim holders. First of all, we liquidate the best minimum capital, which is required to be deposited by every broker with the stock exchange. Upon declaration of a broker defaulter, we liquidate the best minimum capital and also the shares available in the broker's securities account in CDC. It can be house account, it can be investor account, and the cash available in the bank account, offices within the exchange premises, if any, under the control of the exchange. These are 4 resources that we apply and try to convert these resources into the cash so as to pay to the legitimate claimants as the customers of their defaulted broker. And if we see that the supply of funds is not enough to satisfy the demand in totality, we eventually have the investor protection fund. And from the investor protection fund, we are authorized to take out 1 million per claimant based on the actual amount that is under the shortfall. So this is how we settle the default of a broker in a progressive manner. From the disclosure point of view, you can see that listed companies are required to make their material information public, enabling the minority shareholder to make their investment decisions in a well-informed manner. These are some of the important disclosure that we have summed up for the information of the participants. Every listed company is required to disclose this information through the PUCAR. PUCAR is the system that we have provided to every listed company for making public announcements. Every quarterly report and annual report is required to be disseminated. The change in the directors, executive, and substantial shareholder, if they are buying or selling their own stock, every trade is required to be disclosed to the stock exchange for the public within 7 days of the trade. Prompt and fair disclosure of material information, issuance of public statement regarding denial of material information circulating in the media. This is very important that we often see in the newspaper or in the print media that there is a news around the listed companies. And if there is no information from the listed company on PUCAR, we inquire from the company what is the factual position. If there is accuracy or the correctness of information, the company must give a public disclosure, either confirming the news in the news media or denying it. Every board meeting, particularly the board meeting which are containing the corporate entitlements for the shareholder, must be served with the advance notice of 7 days, and the close period during which the key insiders cannot trade. Notification of AGM, EOGM, 21 days notice is required to be submitted to the members. And also, we have recently introduced that every listed company must hold the corporate briefing session at least once in every year, in addition to their AGM. So this is the last slide. I can quickly tell you some of the penal action that we take against the listed companies in case of any regulatory deviation. For the information of investment public, we have made 3 counters. One is the normal counter, where the normal compliant companies are traded. Another is the non-compliant segment, where the non-compliant companies are shifted in case of non-compliance. And the winding up segment, where the companies whose cases are in the court for winding up, those are separately classified for the added information of the investment public. These counters actually serve as the important disclosure for the investor that they should watch their stock closely and then decide their investment decisions. We also assign the risk warning alert to a stock which is getting risky, and we inform the public in advance that this stock may be running the risk of being suspended. We also force convert a stock on a spot trading, which is T+0, before eventually suspending the stock. In case of material violation, we do suspend the stock. And when we suspend the stock or put the stock on the non-compliant segment, we freeze the shares of the sponsor, director, and senior management. The objective of this particular punishment is to put the skin of the insiders in the game, that they should not exit the stock during the course of their non-compliance. Once they become compliant, they can claim their stock back from the PSX, and we instruct the CDC to unfreeze the stock. Imposition of fine, we have hefty fines for every violation. And eventually, if the company is not getting compliant, we issue the buyback direction to the company. It's a forced delisting. We eventually lead the company to the forced delisting if the company is not in the mood to make sure that the company is staying compliant. And then we refer the case to the SECP for initiation of winding up proceeding against that non-compliant company. Once the winding up initiation proceeding is initiated and the application is filed in the court, we start the delisting process. Similarly, on the broker side, we have also a very dynamic array of enforcement action. We start from advice, warning, censure, reprimand, fine, or suspending the TRE certificate. And in case of final enforcement action that we are compelled to take, that is the forfeiture or the cancellation of TRE certificate. This is the extreme action that can only be taken with the permission of the board. Once the broker is forfeited or its license is suspended, the broker no longer becomes the member of the exchange and the broker is deregistered. So this is how the punishment process start from low to the extreme cases, depending upon the nature of the violation and the frequency and the market impacts. I'm done with my presentation, and now the floor is open for any question that any participant has. I'm here to respond to the question.
जी, you are all advised. आप लोग अपने questions जो हैं वो chat में please share कर लीजिए. And Ajit Saab is going to be around with us. आप अपने सवालात वहाँ share कर लीजिए. We will respond to all the questions, inshallah. Meanwhile, Murtaza Saab, if you're still around, sir, we would like कि आप please अपना कैमरा वगैरह ऑन कर लीजिए. आप आपने कीमती वक्त निकाला सर. प्लीज वी वुड लाइक कि आप हमसे शेयर कीजिए जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आपके पास हमारे लिए है आज.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. May I have the rights to share my screen, please?
Sir, just allow me a quick second.
Thank you. Thank you.
जी मुर्तज़ा साहब, आपके साथ मैंने को होस्ट की परमिशन शेयर कर दी हैं. आप एक्सेप्ट कर
Thank you.
लीजिए. यू शैल बी एबल टू शेयर द प्रेजेंटेशन.
Okay, मैं screen share कर सकता हूँ.
जी.
अच्छा नहीं, मेरे पास अभी नहीं आई परमिशन.
Let me just send it to you again. Just give me a second. सर मेरे पास तो शो हो रहा है कि आपके पास परमिशंस आ गई हैं। इफ यू कैन
सर
जस्ट,
मैं स्क्रीन शेयर
जी जी सर, काइंडली शेयर पे क्लिक कीजिएगा एंड दोबारा से ट्राई
जी
कीजिएगा एकदम।
here we go. I believe everyone can see this.
जी सर दिख रही है।
Agree?
Very good.
All
If you
right.
can just
Thank you.
fully screen the presentation, that would be great.
Sure, sure, sure. Sure. So, PSX, everyone, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I know we are running out of time, but I will very quickly brief you about what SCCP is doing, particularly about the Sharia compliant investments, and what is our scope and what are the guiding principles, what is the current status, and what are we looking at right now. So, my name is Murtaza Abbas, and working as a joint director, investor education and compliance department. We all work in an economic system, and financial system is an integral part of the overall economic system. Financial system acts like a heart for the economy, that it pumps all the money from the different spheres of the economy to the areas where it is much needed. So, in order to regulate these two sectors, we have State Bank of Pakistan to regulate the banking sector, and then we have the SECP, which is the apex regulatory authority for the non-bank financial sector and the capital markets. So when we talk about Sharia compliant investments, as you are aware that recently, not recently, but when the 26th Amendment was passed by the Parliament, now it has become mandatory for all the finance companies, all the companies to become Sharia compliant by 2027. So SECP, along with State Bank of Pakistan, is rigorously working on in transforming the overall financial landscape and converting them into Islamic finance principles or Sharia-based principles. So when we talk about Islamic finance, under the SECP's mandate, we have got Sharia-compliant companies, Mudarbas, Sharia-compliant securities, Islamic mutual funds, Islamic exchange-traded funds, Islamic pension funds, takaful, which is the form of which is a Sharia-based form of insurance, and then we have got Islamic REITs and BFIs. So, if you look at the principles, that what are the guiding principles of the Sharia, the guiding principles of the Sharia objectives relating to finance are like protection of wealth, halal augmentation and circulation of wealth, justice and fairness in return distribution, promotion of actual economic activities, and enhancement of the societal well-being. So these are the Sharia objectives related to finance as per the talimat and as per the teachings available with us on the Islamic rules. Uh, in line with that, SECP's objectives as Commission, we are working diligently on the digitalization of the economy and the financial markets. We are also working on market development, making the user experience more comfortable and the journey more convenient for all the investors. Enforcement from the perspective that we should not only be penalizing the violators, but we should try them to educate them that how to avoid all the uncalled for situations for themselves. Then we are obviously looking at the growth outcomes in the regulated sectors. We want to grow the market, and you would agree that being a regulator, it's a very tricky thing because on one side, when we work hard on the enforcement, then probably people ask that it's not very easy to do business in Pakistan. However, on the other side, if we make some very lenient points, then there are chances of manipulation and chances of mis-selling things. So we have to make a balance, a very delicate balance, maintain a very delicate balance between the two. Uh, the regulatory framework, some of the regulatory framework regarding capital markets, Ajit mentioned, but Islamic finance perspectives, if you look at it, we have got the Mudarba companies and Mudarba rules 1981 and Mudarba regulations 2021. Then we have got the Sharia governance regulations. We have public regulations for Sukuk. We have Sharia regulations, Takaful rules 200, 2012, and they have got section 451 of the Companies Act regarding the Sharia compliant companies and securities. So these are the regulatory points from where we get the powers to regulate the whole market. When we talk about capital markets, as you all know, that the Islamic capital market, the idea of the Islamic capital market is to facilitate the raising and trading of financial capital through Sharia compliant securities. The core principles of Sharia include, to adhere with Islamic laws like prohibiting riba and excessive uncertainty, which is called gharar, and speculation, misir. And the primary instrument, primary in our capital markets, is Sukuk, which is an asset-backed certificate and asset-backed security, often compared to conventional bond, but representing an ownership stake in an asset or a project. So it's different. When it comes to the primary capital markets, the primary capital market where companies go, issuers go and issue different securities and raise capital for them. SCCP is trying to make the primary market more Sharia compliant and to have more Sharia compliant companies raising access to finance from Pakistan Stock Exchange.
अच्छा मुर्तजा साहब, if you don't mind me interrupting, I think आपकी presentation stuck हो गई है. If you could please take it to the full screen again, अगर आप presentation mode करें दोबारा से, तो I think वो फिर move करेगी. Because हमारे पास हम होम पेज पे ही सर इसको if you can click on the play सबसे टॉप वाले पे, अगर आप आज presentation mode कर दें, then we all should be able to see it on full screen as well.
Okay, और मैंने इसको play कर दिया है. The slide I am seeing is titled Primary Capital Market Raising
जी
Financial
सर, लेकिन
Capital.
बस सर हमें full में नहीं दिख रही, but we can see it now.
Okay, मैं
I
इसको
think this
दोबारा एक
works.
दफा मैंने
कर लें तो ठीक है, otherwise we can see
कर
it
लिया
now.
मैंने इसको दोबारा प्ले किया है.
ठीक है, बिल्कुल ठीक है. Please continue.
Okay. Okay.
जी.
So SCCP approves the Sharia structure of the securities which are launched in the market, and recently we are Jeet and PSX will agree that we saw a very upside on the Sukuk issuance. I'll mention a few figures. I'm quoting the figures from 2024 as the final figures for 2025 are in process, but you can clearly see that in 2024, corporate sukuks, 36 corporate sukuks were issued and the value is 194 billion rupees. The total certified sukuks are 105 with the worth of 754 million, and sovereign sukuks issued via PSX are 40 with a net worth of 643 billion rupees. So if you look at the secondary market, it's very interesting that we have total 528 listed companies in the market as of 2024. And out of 522, 270 companies are Sharia compliant securities. So it becomes 51%. And as far as the market capitalization is concerned, it is very encouraging to see that 55.8% of the market capitalization is now Sharia compliant. So all my friends who are thinking about investing in the Pakistan Stock Exchange, you know that the majority of the stocks, majority of the securities trading on the PSX are now Sharia compliant. We have stock index. We have that KMI All Share Index, KMI 30, Mizan Index, and Mahana Islamic Index. With the help of these index, you can track the performance of your shares. And PSX doing a wonderful job in maintaining all these different types of indices, along with the conventional indexes. As you know, Central Depository Company is basically the custodian or the guardian of the electronic book entries, and they are managing currently 175 Sharia compliant book entry securities. It includes Sukuk, Islamic commercial papers, Mudaba certificates, and Islamic mutual funds as well. So in the matrix, if you see, the share of total market value in Sharia compliant shares is 1,933 billion. So CDC is a very, very important, along with PSX, is a very important institution in Pakistani capital markets with the very state-of-the-art infrastructure, IT infrastructure, and the regulatory infrastructure. So as I was talking about the domestic sovereign sukuks, this is a brief overview of the sukuks that since December 2023, 40 domestic sukuks were issued with 643 million starting in December 23, and PSX is the main forum where they were launched. Along with these sukuks, the corporate sukuks were very encouraging, and I must mention that Jazz, which is a telecom operator in Pakistan, it issued us Jazz sukuk of 15 billion rupees, and it also won the Euro Money Islamic Finance Award 2024. So it's a big achievement for all of us, and we are very proud of it that we were able to win this prize and for the whole capital market. And a telecom operator like Jazz has issued and used the forum of Pakistan Stock Exchange to get the money. Recently, the Sharia compliant REITs are also on rise. There is a huge demand. SCCP has certified 13 Sharia compliant REIT schemes, and these schemes include developmental, hybrid, and rental. All the three conventional types of REITs are also now available in the Sharia compliant format. REITs, total number of REITs in Pakistan are 15, and out of those 15, 13 REITs are Sharia compliant, which makes an 86% of the market share. And the cumulative value is 161 154 billion out of 161, which makes it 95 billion. So you can understand that REITs is a very, very closed, is a very successful model as far as the Sharia compliant investments are concerned. Looking at the mutual fund sector and the VPS and the exchange traded funds, mutual funds, there are a lot of people who are actually converting from conventional mutual funds to the Sharia compliant mutual funds, and the figures, as I mentioned, it's rising from 43% to 48% now. VPS is not a new product as such, but now people have started adopting VPS, and more of the people are moving towards pension funds. So it's a very a big market in Pakistan. As you know, the government has also curtailed the pension liability and transformed this into contributory pension. So most of the people who are moving towards contributory pension funds are now adopting the Sharia compliant funds. As far as the ETFs are concerned, ETFs there are not much ETFs in the market. There are 8 exchange traded funds with 399 million, and out of these 8 funds, 2 Sharia compliant exchange traded funds are working in Pakistan. On the other side, if you look at that how the advisory side is working, SCP actually also registers and give licenses to the advisors, and the Securities SCP has registered total 149 Sharia advisors. Out of these 149 Sharia advisors, there are 11 companies who are given the license to give broad Sharia advisory services of all types. The changes which we have done so far are enormous. You will be happy to know that the first Sharia compliant stock brokerage firm was licensed by SECP previously. Then we approved the first peer-to-peer Sharia compliant financing model, and the NBFC's logistic company, which got the license from NBFC, is also a Sharia compliant financing company in Pakistan. We have developed a roadmap, strategic action plan of 24 to 27, and it is going to help to promote Islamic finance, and we want to have more penetration and a more supportive ecosystem to help every stakeholder to participate in the system. The documentation, we are trying to standardize the documentation for the REIT Islamic funds, and it will make the life of the issuers much easier. As far as the knowledge sharing are concerned, we issue bulletins, and we have also issued a practical guidebook for the Mudarba sector. Mudarba is not a new product, but there are many things which need to be clarified. So we try to make a very practical guide for everyone who wants to enter into the Mudarba sector. As for the regulatory reforms are concerned, we promulgated the Sharia Governance Regulations 2023, which provides legal support and implementing the international best practices for the Islamic financial institutions working in Pakistan. IOFI is an international body, and SECP is striving to adopt all the IOFI Sharia governance and ethics standards in the coming years. Mudarba, it needs reforms, but Mudarba amendments have already been done in the Mudarba Regulations 2021 and Mudarba Rules 1981 to remove the practical difficulties. Because once we have a regulatory framework in place, when people come and they want to start certain businesses, they face practical difficulties, and SCCP tries to remove them on need basis, on the demands of the stakeholders actually. Capacity building is a very important issue, and international collaborations, obviously. We have developed the mandatory certification of Sharia advisors and for the SECP team members as well. Because we don't want that SECP team members do not know what Sharia advisors are doing, so they need to be certified and to build their capacity to prevent the non-compliances. To develop the institutional capacity, we have completed a capacity building program for the Islamic capital markets through the collaboration of the institutions like IBA and the Sharia Advisory Committee. And on the international forums, we are working very closely with Islamic Financial Services Board and Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institutions, IOFI. And IOFI is the institution whose standards which SECP is going to adopt all these standards in the near future. So in conclusion, I must say that Islamic markets, they are significantly growing in Pakistan, and it demonstrates a very robust framework for Sharia compliant investments. SECP fully supports them. Now it is more of a earlier it was a regulatory duty, but now it's more of a constitutional responsibility on SECP to support the Islamic framework. And in the coming years, we are looking forward for a more thriving Islamic financial market, and we will try to lead the world in this particular scenario. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
बहुत शुक्रिया मुर्तज़ा साहब। अगर पार्टिसिपेंट्स आप लोगों के कोई सवालात हैं सो प्लीज़ हमारे साथ शेयर कीजिए। मुर्तज़ा साहब हैज़ a very tight schedule today, so he would not be with us by the end of the program. So you are requested कि जो भी सवालात हैं प्लीज़ हमसे शेयर कीजिए so he can respond to those questions. So while we do that, let's move ahead with the program. And if you allow me, Muhammad Ali Bhaba Sahab, I would like you to, sir, share your presentation as well and turn on your camera as well so we can see you and learn a few things from you.
Fahad, my apologies. If you allow me 1 minute, please.
Absolutely, sir. Bilkul.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I have a very tight schedule. I have to rush for a podcast actually. But on behalf of
बहुत शुक्रिया मुर्तजा साहब. It was very
Exchange
comprehensive.
Commission of Pakistan, I'm very thankful to everyone. Please, you can have my number, you can have our contacts, and if you have anything where SECP's support is required, we are fully committed to give you all best possible support under one window. Thank you very much for having me. God bless you all. Pakistan Zindabad. Allah Hafiz.
बहुत
Thank you,
शुक्रिया जी।
Murtaza.
Muhammad Ali Bhaba Sahab, I request you कि अगर if you can turn your screen apps. Okay,
जी
thank you.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम
वालेकुम
जी
सलाम
कैन आई
सर,
शेयर
मैं
माय
आप
presentation or you will share my presentation?
sir, let
Am
me
I
allow you to, yeah. Sir, please go ahead and share it from there. I have given you the co-host access. You should be
thank you
able to
sir.
share your presentation. Perfect.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is. I just request that you put it on
Yeah, I will do that.
presentation
Now
mode.
it's
So
okay?
yeah, perfect. Perfect.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम. My name is Muhammad Ali Bhaba. I'm a Chief Investment Officer at HBL Asset, and thank you PSX, and thank you team to give me an opportunity. Uh, Today's my topic is asset management industry and Sharia compliant investments. Let's discuss about the role of asset management company in Pakistan economy. Uh, Channel basically AMC the few key roles will will perform into the economy is channel saving into a productive investment. As we discussed earlier regarding the property, people invest into a property. If they invest into plots, it's not a productive investment. If they buy plot and do construction, it's a productive investment. If they going for the REITs, it's a productive investment. A lot of investments either less productive or no productive. But if you invest mutual fund and bring the investment into capital market, so it's product into the productive investments. It will support the capital market development and financial inclusion, offer diversified products for different investor profiles. Basically, we have a different type of funds which I will cover in future. Uh, so with the different risk appetite, different risk profiles, so it will suits the different investor with the different risk appetite. So for every investor, we have one opportunity or one fund which provide the diversified portfolio, contribute to economic growth and documentation and transparency. Typically, mutual fund investments or the dealing of the mutual fund is a non-cash based. You can, it's a totally in a, basically it's a documented, it's a personal account or company accounts is no cash transactions are allowed into the mutual fund industry. So it's a totally documented and transparent on a daily performance is published on the company website and a common website of the mutual fund association and periodic publications as well. A brief about the mutual funds. Basically, mutual fund is a professionally managed investment vehicle which pools the money from a different type of investor like a small, large, medium, and pool this investment. They invest in the pool amount of money so that every investor can get the benefits. Whether they invest with they start with the 5,000 or 5 million or 5 billion, they will get the same benefits of this pool. So this is the basic concept of the mutual fund industry or mutual fund. If you come with the 5,000 rupees, you will get the same benefits of the investments which a investor of 5 billion rupees will get. Key features of the mutual funds are diversification, spread risk across multiple assets. Basically, it provide you a diversification within the asset class or among the asset class. If someone want to invest into equity and fixed income avenues like Sukuk, T-bills, so they can diversify. Among the asset class, like we have a different portfolio with they will invest 5,000 rupees and they will get the entire portfolio. Professional management, expert fund managers handle investment. Basically, expert like a fund managers handle the fund management with the support of professional research analysts. We dedicated team of the investment team basically comprise on the analyst, fund managers. So the investment managed by the professionals, particular sectors. Basically, we have the analyst of the each and every or most of the sectors. So the job of the analyst is to evaluate, learn about that sector, which will which will good basically what is the good and then what is the bad for this sector is going to be happen in the future. Liquidity, easy to buy and redeem the units. As I mentioned, if you come and invest into a mutual fund, you don't need to be buy the entire portfolio. You just give an investment form and you will become an owner of the that entire portfolio which mutual fund have. If like some fund have a 40 or 50 scripts, you don't need to be buy these all 50 scripts of equity. If you invest, you will become an owner of that 50 scripts. Similarly goes with the redemption. If you want to redeem your money, you just give a simple application by in person or online as well. So you don't need to be sell entire portfolio. Accessibility, suitable for all investor type. As I mentioned, we have a lot of funds which I will cover, which different type of nature. So it's suitable for every investor. If someone is a less risk appetite, so we have the low risk profile funds. If someone has a higher risk appetite and if you want to invest into equity, we have that fund as well. Transparency, regular NAV updates and performance reports. Basically, our performance, like most of the company's performance comes into after quarterly. But the mutual fund performance is comes on a daily basis. On the website of company's website and a common website, named the Mutual Fund Association. They publish NAV and reports and balance sheet and performance. What HBL or other AMCs perform, they publish on a daily basis. So it's totally a transparent. Types of mutual fund, based conventional and Islamic. As I mentioned, we have a different type of funds which have the different risk profiles. Like money market fund have a low risk profile. Basically, in money market, the majority of the fund is low. It's up to 90 days. Fixed rate fund, it is the only fund where mutual fund can guarantee the return. Basically, from this product, we can compete with the bank. Rest of the fund, we can't guarantee the return. Basically, we don't know okay, what is basically there. On that fund, we have an expected return, but in the fixed rate fund, we can guarantee the return like a bank because we match the maturity of that asset with the investment. So the return is guaranteed. Capital protected fund, where we protect your capital and invest little bit amount in the rest of the amount with the in the equity fund to create alpha. Income fund as a medium risk profile. Aggressive income fund is a similar but some additional benefits of some additional relaxation in the limits. So it's also a medium risk profile. Balance fund, high risk profile is having the asset allocation like both of types of equity investments, equity and on the fixed income side as well. Asset allocation is similar. Some regulations difference between a balance fund and asset allocation fund. Index tracker basically track the index. Equity fund is high risk profile because they invest into Pakistan Stock Exchange. Pension funds having the three type of pension fund: money market, low risk, medium risk, debt fund, income fund, and the high is equity. Three option for your retirement planning. And if someone want to contribute their provident fund as well, and these days government allow to, you can convert, you can invest your PF into the pension fund as well. Why should someone invest into mutual fund? Basically, Sharia compliant option available for faith-based. These all funds are available into Sharia compliant and conventional as well. Investment can be made with a small one. As I mentioned, if someone want to come and buy 50 stocks with 5,000 rupees, not possible. Theoretical is very difficult. But if they can invest into mutual fund, they can become an owner of this entire portfolio. So you can start with the investment of In some AMCs allow for 1,000 rupees and some AMCs allow for 5,000 rupees. And there is no limit for higher amount. Tailored portfolio based on their investor risk profiles. Like if someone having a low risk profile, so we have a low risk fund as I show you, and someone want to invest on the equity side, we have disciplining long-term strategies. Mutual fund normally invest on their investment objectives, which are based on their risk profiles and very long term. Diversification across asset allocation and within the asset classes, which I already elaborated that case. If someone want to invest into equity, fixed income, they can do the diversification among the funds within which with they choose 2 to 3 funds they can diversify, and among the fund within the asset classes is also diversified. Idea for long-term saving, retirement, or children's education planning. Just like we have different plans, we are offering different plans, and we also have pension fund for the retirement. High liquidity allowing for easy entry and exit, which I already mentioned. All investments are regulated by the SECP, overseen by the trustee, and managed by the licensed CMC. It is not people can easily trust on mutual fund industry because it's not like someone can fraud because it's highly regulated. It is the industry which is highly regulated. Basically, this industry is overseen by a trustee, regulated by SECP. They've defined, they design the policies and procedure, and trustee can ensure that we can follow these guidelines, this offering document guidelines. If someone want to invest into a money market, we can't invest money market funds money into high risk. It it is the responsibility of trustee to oversee it and implement it, because trustee is the authorized signatory. If and I'm being this fund manager, I take the decision, but implementation of that decision is done by the consent of the trustee. So it's very, very secure, very, very regulated, and very, very transparent. No need for physical presence, fully digital onboarding. If someone want to use their portfolio or manage their portfolio digitally, it is possible in these days. Transparent reporting, as I already mentioned, provide safe, regulated, transparent access via RDA. NRP can repatriate funds easily. What HBL AMC offers, like other AMCs, and as I mentioned, we have complete bouquet. We have low risk profile fund like money market fund. We have medium risk fund like income funds. We have high asset allocation funds. We have equity funds. We have specific sector specific funds. We have pensions fund. Similarly, we have in both categories, Islamic and conventional. Few innovative products which HBL introduced in the past, and we are, Alhamdulillah, we are planning for in future as well. It's a total treasury ETF. Why it's innovative? Basically, a few MCs offer equity ETF, which having 8 to 10 equity scripts in their fund. It is the first fund which based on a government security. It's the first ETF on the fixed income side, and it's comprised on the government securities, T-bills and PIBs. It is a conventional fund. Last year, it posted a 17.23% return. It is in the Islamic side, Sharia-compliant HBL livestock fund. This product is basically SECB approved us in a sandbox, and we come up with this two models. Model one in model one we come up and completed model one, and in model two, initially in first model we come up with the 100 million, and in model two we raised 1.5 billion, and Alhamdulillah we completed these two model. And in this model, basically livestock fund, we buy the animals and we did the fattening, and then we will sell it. So in the first model, I remember we completed 2 herds, and in this, I think we completed 3 herds. So after that, SECP didn't allow us into the CIS mutual fund industry. Now in the future, we will bring up this fund into the private equity. These two funds no other MC has offered yet. HBL equity funds return conventional side or HBL equity fund last 1 year, financial year 25, in FY25 they posted 54% return. HBL Energy Fund posted 61% return. The Sharia compliant HBL Islamic Stock Fund posted 55% return, and HBL Islamic Asset Allocation Fund posted annualized 50% return. On the fixed income side, HBL Cash Fund's return was 14.61, while Government Securities Fund return was 19.03. And the Sharia compliant Islamic money market fund return was 14.05, and the Islamic saving plan won 13.38. How to invest via digital account RDA? Open a Roshan digital account RDA from your bank. Choose a Roshan equity investment. Select type of mutual fund. Start investing digitally. Monitor your portfolio through online dashboards. It is the app introduced by HBL Asset Management Company on the website of the HBL Bank. If you are a customer of HBL Bank, you don't need to be logged in on the HBL AMC. You can go and select your HBL AMC app through the HBL Bank, and you can open an account, you can invest. This is all about the asset management. Thank you. If you have any question, please.
बहुत शुक्रिया मोहम्मद अली साहब. We have a number of questions here, which some of which are related to the mutual funds and some of them are not. But one question being, okay, so if I want to invest in mutual funds or let's say specifically in fixed rate fund, can you just simplify what the process is? Also include fee and taxes involved, specifically at the time of investing, at the time of receiving the profits or taking the amount back, as in when you're withdrawing, how much money is going to be deducted from the profits or the total overall investment.
Can you break the question so I can remember? Like let me answer the first last part of your question. Tax is deducted as per the Pakistan's law, FBR's law, and it is basically different tax rules for the different asset class, like investors. Like if you are an individual, so if you opt dividend, so dividend is taxed this year 25% of your profit. And if you opt capital gain, if you redeem before the dividend and you incur a capital gain, the tax would be 15% for individual. And for the corporate, it's 25% on the fixed income side for the both. If you are an individual investor or a corporate investor and invest into equity fund, it's 15% flat for either dividend or capital gain. And what is the first part of your question?
The first part was is basically how to get started.
It's very simple. You can open an account because it's totally a documentation. Basically, you just open an account, you give an investment check, and you start the investment.
बिल्कुल ठीक है. अच्छा, जो दूसरे सवालात हैं उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा उसको भी आंसर
Please.
करते चलते हैं. सो द अदर क्वेश्चन वाज कि ETF और म्यूचुअल फंड्स तो सर आपने बता ही दिए. ETF जो है वो इज बेसिकली अ बास्केट ऑफ शेयर्स जिसके अंदर प्री डिटरमिन्ड शेयर्स हैं, मौजूद हैं, डिज़ाइन किए गए हैं, तकरीबन मोर और लेस वैसे ही ये इस तरह से काम करिए जैसे प्री डिटरमिन्ड आपके पोर्टफोलियोज होते हैं. सो अ पर्सन कैन बेसिकली गो बाय वन ETF इंस्टेड ऑफ वन शेयर एंड दे गेट अ नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स इन दैट बास्केट. तो इस तरीके से वो एक बना बनाया पोर्टफोलियो मिल जाता है जो कि अच्छे शेयर्स आपको विदाउट अ लॉट ऑफ रिसर्च या इस तरह की, स्पेशली फॉर न्यू कमर्स हु आर न्यू पीपल कमिंग इनटू द स्टॉक मार्केट जो इक्विटी में इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहते हैं. सो उनके लिए कि ETF का ऑप्शन बहुत अच्छा है. इसके अलावा दूसरा सुकूक का सवाल है कि सुकूक किस तरह खरीदे जा सकते हैं. सुकूक को खरीदने के लिए सिंपल तरीका ये है, अगर आप स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के थ्रू परचेजिंग इसकी करना चाह रहे हैं, बाइंग करना चाह रहे हैं, तो यू हैव टू कनेक्ट विद वन ऑफ योर प्रेफर्ड BNB ब्रोकर विच इज़ अ बिल्स एंड बॉन्ड्स ब्रोकर. उनसे आप कनेक्ट होइए. ये उन्हीं ब्रोकर्स में से एक हैं जो कि ब्रोकरेज फर्म्स हमारे पास मौजूद हैं पाकिस्तान स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में, जो कि वेबसाइट पे उनकी डिटेल्स मौजूद हैं. फाइंड अ ब्रोकर में जाके क्लिक करके उनकी आप लिस्ट देख सकते हैं. दो तरीके कार हैं, या तो आप ऑनलाइन अगर परचेजिंग करना चाहते हैं, ऑनलाइन अकाउंट खुलवाना चाहते हैं. प्रोसेसेस तो खैर सारे ٹریڈنگ کی آن لائن ہی ہے، بٹ اکاؤنٹ کھلوانے کے دو طریقے ہیں، ایک ہے فزیکل اور ایک ہے آن لائن. فزیکل میں آپ بروکر کے پاس تشریف لا سکتے ہیں، ان سے ملاقات کر کے اکاؤنٹ کھلوا سکتے ہیں. آن لائن کی صورت میں آپ ان کی ویب سائٹ پہ جا کے اکاؤنٹ کھلوا سکتے ہیں، یا پھر آپ ان سے ای میل پہ کانٹیکٹ کر کے اپنے ڈاکیومنٹ بھیج کے ان کے ساتھ اکاؤنٹ کھلوا سکتے ہیں. یہ دو طریقے کار ہیں. اس کے علاوہ وٹ از دا ڈفرنس بٹوین انویسٹنگ فور کیپٹل گینز ورسز ڈیویڈنڈس. کیپٹل گینز نارملی ٹریڈنگ کے اوپر لوگ ورکنگ کرتے ہیں کہ بھائی میں نے 3 روپے کا شیئر خریدا اور کل کو وہ 5 روپے کا ہو گیا، میں نے اس کو بیچ کے اس کے اوپر پروفٹ کما لیا. اور دوسری طرف آپ کے ڈیویڈنڈس ہیں، کمپنیز اناؤنس کرتی ہیں ڈیویڈنڈس کے اتنا اتنا ڈیویڈنڈ ہم آپ کو دیں گے. اس کے حساب سے جب اناؤنسمنٹس ہوتی ہیں تو یو کین ہولڈ دیٹ اور بائی دیٹ شیئر، اینڈ ڈیویڈنڈ جب ان کا ڈسٹریبیوٹ کیا جا رہا ہے، جب دیا جا رہا ہے، تو آپ اس جو ہے وہ اس ڈیویڈنڈ کو حاصل کر سکتے ہیں. سو اس طریقے سے آپ یہاں پہ پروفٹ کما سکتے ہیں اسٹاک مارکیٹ سے ایکویٹیز کے تھرو. اس کے علاوہ جو آپ فی اسٹرکچرز پوچھ رہے ہیں، سو اسٹاک مارکیٹ کے تھرو اگر آپ شیئرس یا ایکویٹی بائی کر رہے ہیں تو جن بروکر کے تھرو بھی آپ کر رہے ہوں گے، دے ول بی چارجنگ یو اے ویری لٹل اماؤنٹ ایز دیئر کمیشن. وہ جو ہے آپ کو چارج کیا جا رہا ہوگا پر ٹرانزیکشن، ناٹ آن یور پروفٹ اور لاس. اور جب بھی آپ اپنے بروکریج ہاؤس کے ساتھ کوئی بھی ٹرانزیکشن کر رہے ہیں یا پہلی دفعہ اسٹارٹ کر رہے ہیں یا یو آر ری ایکٹیویٹنگ یور اکاؤنٹ ان اینی آف دیز cases, you do ask your brokerage firm what the current percentage of the commission on it on your account. اس کے علاوہ یہ سوال ہے کہ I'm brand new, what should I do? So the first step for you to do is کہ آپ پاکستان اسٹاک ایکسچینج کی ویب سائٹ پہ جائیے، انویسٹرس والے سیکشن میں جا کے زیادہ سے زیادہ چیزیں اسٹڈی کیجیے، دیکھیے کہ آپ کیا کچھ وہاں سے سیکھ سکتے ہیں. اس کے علاوہ پاکستان اسٹاک ایکسچینج کے سوشل میڈیا چینلس پہ جائیے، ویب سائٹ پہ ان سب کے لنکس موجود ہیں، فالو کیجیے، انفوگرافکس دیکھیے، ویڈیوز دیکھیے. بہت سارا مٹیریل وہاں موجود ہے ویب سائٹ پہ، سوشل میڈیا پہ، یوٹیوب چینل پہ ہمارے ضرور جائیے. آج جو یہ بہت اچھا سا ویبینار ہم یہاں پہ کنڈکٹ کر رہے ہیں، اس کا پہلا پارٹ، اس کے علاوہ اور بہت سارے دوسرے ویبینارز جو ہم کنڈکٹ کرتے ہیں وہ سب، اس کے علاوہ ویڈیو ٹیوٹوریلز اور بہت ساری انفارمیٹیو ویڈیوز بھی آپ وہاں سے حاصل کر کے دیکھ سکتے ہیں. اینڈ اپارٹ فرام دیٹ وی ہیو آر نالج سینٹر. اس نالج سینٹر پہ آپ جا سکتے ہیں، ویب سائٹ پہ موجود ہیں، وہاں سے آپ فری آف کاسٹ ڈفرینٹ کورسز کر سکتے ہیں اور فری آف کاسٹ ان کے سرٹیفکیشنز بھی حاصل کر سکتے ہیں. سو دیز آر اے فیو آف دا resources that you can use, and that should be more than enough to get started. And once you have opened your brokerage account, then you can definitely ask them how you should get started, and according to your risk tolerance, according to your requirements, according to your goals, you shall be directed towards what shares you should be buying اور کس طرح کا پورٹفولیو آپ کو بنانا چاہیے. اگر آپ کے پاس محمد علی صاحب کے لیے کوئی سوال ہے تو کائنڈلی شیئر کیجیے. I think we don't have any questions for محمد علی صاحب. سر بہت بہت شکریہ آپ کا، آپ نے ڈیٹیل پریزنٹیشن شیئر کی. سر پلیز اسٹک اراؤنڈ، سو اگر کوئی سوالات آتے ہیں میوچل فنڈ سے ریلیٹڈ تو ہم چاہیں گے کہ آپ کا اوپینین اس کے اوپر لے سکیں، آپ سے پوچھ سکیں. ٹھیک ہے، اینڈ اور سر آگے بڑھتے ہیں، if you allow me. So we shall now move towards Mr. Osama Yaqub, who is the Vice President, Regional Manager, South JS Global. Osama صاحب بہت بہت شکریہ آپ کی تشریف آوری کا. We are glad that you have joined us today. اور so if you can share your presentation, I am giving you the co-host rights. اور ویڈیو تو ہم آپ کی دیکھ ہی سکتے ہیں.
Can you see the presentation?
I think load ہو رہی ہے سر.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
وعلیکم السلام. We can see the presentation. Sir, if you could please click on the full screen تاکہ ہم presentation mode میں آپ کی presentation دیکھ سکیں full screen میں.
Presentation آپ کو نظر آ رہی ہے؟
جی we can see that. It's just that کہ full screen میں show نہیں ہو رہی ہے. If you can click on enable editing اور اس کے بعد اوپر play button پہ click کر کے presentation mode on کر لیجیے please.
اب ٹھیک ہے؟
Perfect. Please begin.
Okay, all right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. فہد آپ کا بہت بہت شکریہ، اور آپ کے توسط سے میں پی ایس ایکس کا شکریہ ادا کرنا چاہوں گا، کیونکہ مجھے لگتا ہے کہ جو آج ہمارا ٹاپک ہے کیپٹل مارکیٹ اور شریعہ کمپلائنٹ انویسٹمنٹ، یہ وقت کی اہم ضرورت ہے کہ اس کے بارے میں بات کی جائے. ساتھ ہی ساتھ میں تمام پارٹیسپینٹ کا جنہوں نے اپنی ویلیوبل انپٹ دی ان کا شکریہ ادا کرنا چاہوں گا. اور جو ہمارے ساتھ اس وقت ویبینار میں شرکا ہیں جو یہ سن رہے ہیں، ان تمام لوگوں کا شکریہ جنہوں نے اپنا وقت نکالا، قیمتی وقت اس ویبینار میں تشریف لائے ہیں۔ پریزنٹیشن شروع کرتے ہیں۔ آج کا ہمارا جیسا ٹاپک ہے کیپٹل مارکیٹ اینڈ شریعہ کمپلائنٹ انویسٹمنٹ۔ اس سے پہلے میں تھوڑا سا انٹروڈکشن دینا چاہوں گا۔ میرا نام اسامہ یعقوب ہے، جیسے آپ نے بتایا، میرا تعلق جے ایس گلوبل کیپٹل لمیٹڈ سے ہے اور میں ریجنل ہیڈ ہوں جے ایس گلوبل۔ quickly talk about the JS Group. آپ سب کو پتا ہے کہ پاکستان فائنینشیل لینڈسکیپ کا ایک پرومیننٹ نام ہے JS Group. Under the umbrella of JS Group, we have JS Bank. پاکستان کا fastest growing bank ہے بینک اسلامک۔ پاکستان کا ایک لیڈر ہے اسلامک بینکنگ کے، ون آف دا لیڈر۔ The largest insurance company EFU بھی JS Group کا حصہ ہے۔ اس کے علاوہ JSCL پیرنٹ کمپنی ہے۔ JS Global جس سے میں وابستہ ہوں، ایک لیڈنگ بروکریج ہاؤس ہے اور مارکیٹ پارٹیسپیشن میں فارن ہو یا لوکل وی آر ون آف دا لیڈرز۔ اس کے علاوہ JS پرائیویٹ ایکویٹیز اور JS انویسٹمنٹ اس گروپ کا حصہ ہے۔ JS گلوبل کے بارے میں مختصر سا بتانا چاہوں گا۔ مین اسپانسر ہے JS بینک ہے، پاکستان کا لارجسٹ اور لیڈنگ سب سے اولڈسٹ بروکریج ہاؤس ہے، میں کہوں گا غلط نہیں ہوگا۔ JS گلوبل ہماری جو سروسز ہیں اس میں ایکویٹی بروکریج ہے، انویسٹمنٹ بینکنگ ہے، ریسرچ ہے، فکس انکم، فارکس اور کموڈیٹیز ہیں۔ پاکستان بھر میں ہماری پریزنس ہے، برانچ نیٹ ورک اور جو ہمارے فیسیلیٹیشن سینٹر ہیں چھوٹے بڑے شہروں میں آپ ہمارے دیکھیں گے۔ اس کے علاوہ جو انٹرنیشنل بروکریج ہاؤس سے ہماری جو ریلیشن ہے وہ آپ کی اسکرین پہ آ رہی ہے۔ تھوڑی سی بات اسٹاک ایکسچینج کے بارے میں کر لیتے ہیں کیونکہ میرا تعلق بروکریج انڈسٹری سے ہے۔ پچھلے کچھ عرصے میں ہم نے دیکھا ماشاءاللہ جو فینامنل گروتھ آئی ہے اسٹاک ایکسچینج میں، الحمدللہ کنسسٹنٹ ریٹرن مل رہے ہیں۔ اس کی میجر وجہ کریکٹیو میجرز ہیں جو لیے گئے ہیں معیشت کو ٹھیک کرنے کے لیے۔ ساتھ میں جو ڈراپ ہوئی ہے آپ کے انٹرسٹ ریٹ، اس میں مارکیٹ کی پرفارمنس بہت بہتر ہوئی ہے۔ اس وقت آپ کی اسکرین پہ جو ہم نے بینچ مارک دیا وہ KMI کراچی انڈیکس 30 اور 100 انڈیکس کا منتھلی ریٹرن ہے اوور دی پیریڈز۔ آپ دیکھیں نومبر 2023 سے لے کر اب تک جو ریٹرن سے ایک کنسسٹنٹ ریٹرن ہے۔ KMI اس کے بارے میں انشاءاللہ میں آگے ضرور بات کروں گا کہ بیسیکلی اسلامک انڈیکس ہے، وہ انڈیکس کب مرتب ہوا اور آگے کس طرح ہوا انشاءاللہ آگے بات کریں گے۔ لیکن اس کو بینچ مارک بنانے کے لیے ہم نے یہاں پہ شو کیا ہے کہ جو ریٹرنس ہیں اسلامک انڈیکس میں وہ کس طرح آ رہے ہیں ہر مہینے کے۔ اگر میں ایوریج ٹریڈ کی بات کروں تو مارکیٹ کی جو ڈیپتھ ہے اس کی امپروومنٹ کی وجہ سے اٹریکشن بہت ہوئی انویسٹرز کی، اور ٹریڈنگ والیوم آپ دیکھ لیں ود دی پیسج آف دا ٹائم بتدریج اس میں اضافہ ہو رہا ہے۔ اب اکتوبر 2025 کو میں دیکھوں تو سب سے زیادہ والیوم ان ٹرمز آف والیوم ہے، اور ویلیو بھی دیکھیں US ڈالر میں تو وہ بھی اس میں مسلسل ہم اضافہ دیکھ رہے ہیں الحمدللہ۔ اس کی میجر وجہ یہ ہے کہ لوگوں کا انٹرسٹ بڑھا ہے مارکیٹ میں کام کرنے میں، خصوصاً شریعہ کمپلائنٹ۔ یہ آپ کی اسکرین پہ KMI 30 انڈیکس اوور دی پیریڈ آف ایئر جو اس کی انڈیکس کی پرفارمنس ہے وہ آپ دیکھیں کہاں سے شروع ہوا تھا، اور اس وقت مارکیٹ میں تقریباً 247K پہ یہ انڈیکس کھڑا ہوا ہے، اور ساتھ میں ملٹیپلس بھی دیکھیں اوور دی پیریڈ آف ایئر آپ کو دکھا رہا ہوگا یہاں پہ۔ EXX اگر میں کمپیئر کروں ریجن سے کہ ہماری پرفارمنس پاکستان اسٹاک ایکسچینج کی پرفارمنس ریجن کے مقابلے میں کیسے رہی، تو آپ دیکھ سکتے ہیں کہ جو ہمارا ریٹرن ہے EXX کا وہ جولائی 2024 سے ٹل ڈیٹ 115% کی گروتھ ہمیں نظر آئی ہے، which is huge۔ اگر اس سے کمپیئر کریں آپ سیکنڈ ویتنام میں 32% ہے۔ آپ ڈفرنس دیکھیں، جیسے ایک بڑی مشہور ٹرم ہے کوئی مقابلہ نہیں دور تک، پچھلے کچھ عرصے میں ہمارے مقابلے میں کوئی بھی نہیں آ سکتا جو گروتھ ہم نے حاصل کی ہے۔ اگر میں بات کروں ملٹیپلس کی، جو پرائس ارننگ کی بات کروں، آپ کی اسکرین پہ پاکستان کے ملٹیپلس لوور سائڈ 8.9 ملٹیپل پہ اس وقت ٹریڈ کر رہی ہے، اور اگر آپ انڈیا کی بات کریں جو سب سے زیادہ 23 سمتھنگ پہ وہ انڈیا ٹریڈ کر رہا ہے۔ تو اگر ملٹیپل ہم اپنی پیک پہ آتے ہیں یا ہسٹورک پیک پہ بھی آتے ہیں تو مارکیٹ میں کتنا پوٹینشیل ہے آپ اندازہ کر سکتے ہیں، ابھی مزید کتنی گنجائش نکل سکتی ہے مارکیٹ میں۔ اچھا، بات کریں گے اسلامک کیپٹل مارکیٹ کی۔ اسلامک کیپٹل مارکیٹ فائنینشیل مارکیٹ کا ایک سیگمنٹ ہے۔ اس سے پہلے تھوڑی میں ضرور ایک بات بتانا چاہوں گا کہ ہم جب بات کرتے ہیں اسلامک کیپٹل مارکیٹ کی، شریعہ کمپلائنٹ انویسٹمنٹ کی، تو شریعہ کمپلائنٹ انویسٹمنٹ بیسیکلی یا شریعہ کمپلائنٹ ہے کیا چیز؟ لیکن ہم سب کے علم ہے کہ اسلام ایک مکمل ضابطہ حیات ہے۔ اسلام میں معیشت کے بارے میں، معاشرت کے بارے میں، معاملات کے بارے میں ہمارے پاس رہنما اصول ہے۔ تو ایسا نہیں ہو سکتا کہ اسلام بزنس کو چھوڑ دے یا ہمارے پاس اس کی چیزیں نہ ہوں۔ तो कुरान में अल्लाह रब्बुल इज्जत ने फरमाया है, सूरह जुम्मा की आयत है जिसका तर्जुमा उसका मफहूम ये था कि जब तुम इबादत से फारिग हो जाओ, यानी अल्लाह के जिक्र से फारिग हो जाओ, तो जमीन पर मुंतशिर हो जाओ, फैल जाओ और उसका फजल तलाश करो। यानी रिस्क के हुसूल के लिए अल्लाह रब्बुल इज्जत खुद हमें हुक्म दे रहे हैं। जब अल्लाह हमें हुक्म दे रहे हैं तो उसकी यकीनन अल्लाह रब्बुल इज्जत ने उसके स्टैंडर्ड्स भी बनाए होंगे, प्रिंसिपल भी बनाए होंगे, उसूल भी बनाए होंगे। जो भी काम उन उसूलों के मुताबिक हो, स्टैंडर्ड के मुताबिक हो, वो शरीयत कंप्लायंट कहलाता है। चाहे वो बिजनेस में हो, कारोबार में, किसी भी चीज में हो, वो शरीयत कंप्लायंट कहलाएगा। इस्लामिक कैपिटल मार्केट भी उसी पर बेस करती है। जो सबसे प्रोमिनेंट आप समझिए आंसर है वो ये है कि इंटरेस्ट बेस्ड इकोनॉमी है। इस्लामिक कैपिटल मार्केट उसको डिस्करेज करती है क्योंकि वो इम्परमिसिबल है, प्रोहिबिटेड है, हराम है इस्लाम में। तो इंटरेस्ट बेस्ड इकोनॉमी नहीं होती। जैसे अल्लाह रब्बुल इज्जत ने कुरान में फरमाया कि हमने सूद को हराम और बै को हलाल करार दिया है। तो ये ट्रांजैक्शन जो है, बै मतलब आपका सौदा होता है या ट्रांजैक्शन होती है, कोई भी आपका बिजनेस होती है, वो इसके अलावा जो गरर है, अरबी जबान का लफ्ज है गरर, इसका मतलब है जो अनसर्टेनिटी या गैर यकीनी सूरत हाल है, इसको भी डिस्करेज करता है इस्लाम। और जो बहुत ही एक्सेसिव स्पेकुलेशन होती है उसको भी डिस्करेज करता है। तो ट्रांजैक्शन जो होती है वो एसेट बैक ट्रांजैक्शन होती हैं। तो क्योंकि वो एसेट बैक होती हैं तो फाइनेंसर और फाइनेंसी दोनों का रिस्क उसमें शामिल होता है। तो ये रिस्क शेयरिंग मेथोडोलॉजी पे चलता है। इस्लामिक कैपिटल मार्केट के जो की प्रोडक्ट्स हैं उसमें शरिया कंप्लायंट इक्विटीज है, यानी स्क्रीनिंग के बाद जो स्टॉक्स आपके आते हैं, हम इस पे भी आगे बात करेंगे, वो है सुकूक है, इस्लामिक बॉन्ड्स हैं, इस्लामिक फंड और ईटीएफ्स मौजूद हैं। अकॉर्डिंग टू द डेटा ऑफ एसईसीपी जो इस्लामिक फाइनेंशियल मार्केट का साइज है पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त वो क्रॉस कर रहा है $42 बिलियन का। और जो मेजर कमांडिंग पोजीशन है वो बैंक्स की है। बैंक्स तकरीबन 67% इसको शेयर करते हैं। उसके बाद आपके इस्लामिक अकाउंट्स हैं, इस्लामिक फंड्स हैं और तकाफुल शामिल होते हैं। ठीक है, हम आगे बढ़ेंगे इसको बात में। बेनिफिट्स क्या है इस्लामिक कैपिटल मार्केट के? लेकिन सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट जो इस्लामिक कैपिटल मार्केट का है वो आपका जो इनकम है, आपकी वैल्यूएशन भी आपकी परमिसिबल है अकॉर्डिंग टू द रूल ऑफ शरिया, यानी हलाल है। और आपके हासिल होने वाले जो मुनाफा है, जो इनकम है, वो भी हलाल है। क्योंकि हदीस में आता है अल्लाह के नबी ने फरमाया कि फराइज के बाद रिस्क, हलाल रिस्क का हसूल भी एक फर्ज है। तो जब हलाल रिस्क का हसूल एक फर्ज हुआ तो सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट ही है कि आपके जो इनकम वो बेस करती है हलाल पे, परमिसिबल मीन्स पर, और उसमें डिस्करेज करते हैं जैसे मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया इंटरेस्ट बेस्ड इकोनॉमी को। और इसके अलावा जो भी प्रोहिबिशन है जिसमें कन्वेंशनल बैंकिंग शामिल है या इंश्योरेंस शामिल है, गैम्बलिंग है, गरर है, उससे हट कर उसको एक्सक्लूड करके इस्लामिक कैपिटल मार्केट के बेनिफिट है। इसके अलावा जैसे अभी अर्ज किया मैंने कि एसेट बैक इन्वेस्टमेंट होती है तो रिस्क शेयरिंग होती है। इससे फाइनेंसी या फाइनेंशियल में से किसी का भी इस्तेसाल नहीं होता, जो हम देखते हैं कि एक बैलेंस सेक्टर। इसके अलावा जो मार्केट के जो एक्सेसिव स्पेकुलेशन है उससे भी बचा जाता है इससे, अगर इस्लामिक इकोनॉमी की बात करें तो। और टेंजिबल एक इकोनॉमी होती है, एसेट बैक कहते हैं, टेंजिबल इकोनॉमी होती है। आगे बढ़ने से पहले थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड मैं बताना चाहूंगा। 2008 में जब उस वक्त PSX नहीं था, KSC था, पाकिस्तान स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, और मिजान वालों ने एक कमेटी फॉर्म की और उसमें इंडस्ट्री के एक्सपर्ट थे और साथ ही जो इस वक्त जैयद उलमा कराम है यानी सर्टिफाइड स्कॉलर्स थे जिसकी सरबराही मुफ्ती तकी उस्मानी साहब कर रहे थे। उन्होंने एक सिस्टम और मैकेनिज्म बनाया कि पाकिस्तान स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में शेयर्स की खरीदो फरोख्त और लेन देन किस तरह शरिया कंप्लायंट हो सकती है और जायज और हलाल हो सकती है। उस मैकेनिज्म में सबसे पहले जैसे हमने ऊपर देखा था कि KMI का जिक्र आया था, कराची में कानून थे। सबसे पहले एक इंडेक्स मुरतब किया और उस इंडेक्स से मुरतब करने के लिए एक क्राइटेरिया बनाया गया। 6 नुकाती को क्राइटेरिया था, जिसका सबसे पहला पॉइंट है कि जो भी उस इंडेक्स में शामिल होगी कंपनी वो शरिया कंप्लायंट होगी, उसका जो बिजनेस है, जो कोर इनकम वो हलाल। यानी इसके लिए अगर आप जितने भी सूद बेस्ड बिजनेस हैं उसको आप हटा देते हैं, जब गैम्बलिंग के हवाले से है या लेकर अल्कोहल बनाने वाली कंपनीज हैं वो उसमें शामिल नहीं। इसके अलावा जो बकिया 5 पॉइंट्स हैं वो रेशियोज पर मुश्तमिल है। अच्छा, जो भी कंपनी जो लिस्टेड कंपनी है PSX में, जो कंपनी उस क्राइटेरिया पर पूरी उतरती है उसको हमने KMI ऑल शेयर इंडेक्स में जगह दे दी। यानी उस क्राइटेरिया को पूरा कर रही है उसको फिल्टर करते हैं उससे और KMI ऑल शेयर इंडेक्स में डाल देते हैं। इस तरह एक इंडेक्स मुरतब हो गया जिसे KMI कराची मीज़ान इंडेक्स आ जाता है। उसका बेंचमार्क KMI30 और KMI ऑल शेयर इंडेक्स है। शुरू में हमने देखा था कंपनीज उसमें कम थी, तकरीबन 90-100 की करीब कंपनीज थी। वक्त के साथ लोगों को भी, कंपनीज को भी इस बात का आइडिया हो, एक बहुत बड़ा सेगमेंट ऑफ इन्वेस्टर हम मिस कर रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने अपने आप को कंप्लाइंट करना शुरू कर दिया। जैसे अभी हमने देखा तो 58.8% कंपनी जो है ना वो कंप्लाइंट हो चुकी है और आगे भी इंशाल्लाह होंगी। तो वो इंडेक्स बनाया गया। उसके बाद ये तय किया गया कि जब भी कोई शेयर्स परचेज करेंगे तो 2 दिन तक उसको आप होल्ड करें, क्योंकि T+2 का सेटलमेंट रूल चल रहा होता है। T+1 इंशाल्लाह आने वाला है, लेकिन फिर लोग जो इस वक्त राइज निकाल रहे हैं वो T+2 का है और आप उसमें डे ट्रेड नहीं कर सकते। इसके अलावा जो शॉर्ट सेल है, यानी आपके पास कोई शेयर्स नहीं है और आप उसको बेच दें इस एंटिसिपेशन में मार्केट में वापस दे दूंगा, ये भी अलाउ नहीं है। फ्यूचर मार्केट अलाउ नहीं है। जो भी कन्वेंशनल फाइनेंसिंग प्रोडक्ट है उसको भी अलाउ नहीं किया इस पे। तो एक सिस्टम बनाया, एक मैकेनिज्म बनाया जिसमें हम शेयर्स की खरीदो फरोख्त जायज और हलाल तरीके कर सकते हैं। उस पूरे सिस्टम को जेएस ग्लोबल ने क्या किया, मुझे खुशी महसूस होती है ये बताते हुए कि जेएस ग्लोबल ने उस पूरे सिस्टम को, जो पूरा दरिया है इसमें हैजर है कि कौन सी कंपनी की शेयर लेने चाहिए, नहीं लेनी चाहिए, या कब बाय करना चाहिए, कब सेल करना चाहिए, उस पूरे दरिया को एक कूदे में बंद कर दिया। इस कूदे का नाम है जेएस ग्लोबल शरिया-कंप्लायंट इस्लामिक टर्मिनल, या जिसे हम कहते हैं जेएस इन्वेस्ट्रो इस्लामिक। ये एक टर्मिनल की स्क्रीन आपके सामने आ रही है। उसमें आप पाकिस्तान में एक पहला ब्रोकरेज हाउस है और मैं कर गया था, मुझे बड़ी खुशी होती है बताते हुए कि जिसने इस तरह का एक टर्मिनल लोगों को दिया जिससे वो अपना फेथ बेस्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सके। अच्छा, इस टर्मिनल में कन्वेंशनल ऑप्शन भी मौजूद है और शरिया ऑप्शन भी मौजूद है जो आप ऑप्ट करना चाहें। इसके अलावा इसमें तमाम जो चीजें हैं, मैकेनिज्म है, जो ऑपरेशन है, वो सब शरिया बेस्ड हैं और तमाम जो स्टैंडर्ड है, जो जितने रेगुलेटर्स हैं, जिनके इस्लामिक ऑडिटिंग वगैरह कंपनीज है, उस सारे स्टैंडर्ड को मीट करता है। उस स्टैंडर्ड के मुताबिक वो बनाया गया है। यानी जैसे कुरान में फरमाया है कि पूरे पूरे दीन का रख लो, तो पूरे पूरे आपको शरीय कंप्लायंट में काम कराएगा। अगर आपको शेयर परचेज कर लें और उसको बेचना चाहें 2 दिन से पहले, तो वो आपको नहीं अलाउ करेगा सिस्टम, क्योंकि आप 2 दिन तक, क्योंकि सेटलमेंट और शरिया ही आपको कहता है कि 2 दिन तक आप होल्ड करें, उसके बाद बेच सकते हैं। इसके अलावा अभी अपकमिंग एक मुराबहा बेस्ड इस्लामिक बेस्ड मार्जिन फाइनेंसिंग सिस्टम है जो कि इस पर काम हो रहा है। अभी वो लॉन्च नहीं हुआ, लेकिन होपफुली जल्दी लॉन्च हो जाएगा। वो जैसे ही लॉन्च होगा वो इस टर्मिनल में इंकॉर्पोरेट होगा, तो इससे आपको ये फाइनेंसिंग सिस्टम, मुराबहा बेस्ड फाइनेंसिंग सिस्टम भी अवेलेबल होगा, जिससे आप फाइनेंसिंग हासिल कर सकते हैं फेथ के मुताबिक। ये जैसे मैंने आपको बताया अभी कि कन्वेंशनल इस्लामिक मोड्स है जेएस ऐप में, जिसमें आप स्विच कर सकते हैं जब आप चाहें। मल्टीपल पोर्टफोलियो की जरूरत नहीं है, मल्टीपल अकाउंट की जरूरत नहीं है। आप एक ही अकाउंट में, एक ही पोर्टफोलियो में अपने आप को कन्वेंशनल अगर आप करना चाहें तो कन्वेंशनल भी कर सकते हैं, और इस्लामिक करना चाहें तो शरिया बेस्ड भी कर सकते हैं। इससे ये होगा कि जब हमने इसे लॉन्च किया तो बहुत सारे जो लोग, एक बड़ा सेगमेंट मार्केट का जो शायद वो काम नहीं करता स्टॉक मार्केट में, वो भी स्टॉक मार्केट में एंटर हुआ और उसको लगा कि कोई ऐसी चीज है जिसमें हम फेथ बेस्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं। जैसे अभी मैंने अर्ज किया कि इसमें नॉन शेयर कोई ट्रांजैक्शन नहीं होती, बिल्कुल प्योरिटी मेंटेन होती है, तमाम स्टैंडर्ड्स मीट कर रहे हैं। अच्छा, ट्रेडिंग रूल वही T+2 के ट्रेडिंग रूल है, शरिया-कंप्लायंट स्क्रिप्ट में आप काम कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा कोई स्क्रिप्ट में काम जो KMI में मौजूद स्क्रिप्ट्स होंगे आप सिर्फ उन्हीं में काम कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा आप किसी में काम करना चाहेंगे तो वो अलाउ करेगा आपको आपका टर्मिनल। T+2 की सेटलमेंट है, तमाम इस्लामिक एसेट बैक ट्रांजैक्शन का प्रिंसिपल के मुताबिक है ये। अच्छा, ये अभी हम बात कर रहे थे मुराबा बेस्ड फाइनेंसिंग, ये भी अंडरवे है और अभी इसमें काम चल रहा है। बेसिकली मुराबा क्या है, एक इस्लामिक फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम है। कुछ अर्से पहले तक जितने भी इस्लामिक बैंक हैं उनकी तकरीबन 60-70% जो ट्रांजैक्शन होती है वो मुराबा बेस्ड होती है। अब और भी डिफरेंट मोड्स आ गए हैं, तो ये एक सेल बेस्ड एग्रीमेंट है बिटवीन फाइनेंसर और फाइनेंसिंग। तो इस्लाम इसको अलाउ करता है, शरिया कंप्लायंट है, तो इससे आप फाइनेंसिंग दे सकते हैं। जैसे मैंने अर्ज किया, जब ये इंशाल्लाह प्रोडक्ट आ जाएगा तो ये भी आपको हमारे टर्मिनल में मौजूद मिलेगा। ठीक है, ये काम सेग्रीगेशन एंड कंट्रोल्स है, ये हम इसको बात कर चुके हैं। ठीक है, अब अगर मैं बात करूं सर्टिफिकेशन की, तो हमारे पास मीज़ान और अल हिलाल की सर्टिफिकेशन मौजूद है जो इंश्योर करती है कि ये टर्मिनल जो है ना टोटल शरिया कंप्लायंट हो और उसमें इस्लामिक शरीय रूलिंग के मुताबिक हो। और क्योंकि थर्ड पार्टी की सर्टिफिकेशन हासिल है तो क्रेडिबिलिटी और ट्रस्ट इंश्योर करती है कि मैं बस ये आखिरी बात कुछ 2-4 लाइनें और कहना चाहूंगा कि इस टर्मिनल को यूज करते हुए, इस्लामिक टर्मिनल को यूज करते हुए, शरिया-कंप्लायंट है, उसको यूज करते हुए आप अपने स्मार्ट डिसीजन के लिए, क्योंकि इसमें हमारी रिसर्च रिपोर्ट्स भी मौजूद हैं, हमारी टेक्निकल रिसर्च और फंडामेंटल रिसर्च भी मौजूद है, उसके थ्रू आप एक हलाल इनकम कमा सकते हैं और अपने आप को फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम दे सकते हैं और फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम आपको हासिल कर सकती है। इस्लाम एक बड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन है हमारे पास कि इस्लाम शायद पैसे कमाने को या फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम हासिल करने को डिस्करेज करता है, हालांकि ऐसा नहीं है। हमारे पास एग्जाम्पल्स मौजूद हैं सहाबा कराम की, जो कि काफी बड़े बिजनेसमैन होते थे अपने वक्त में, एक वक्त में वो 50 करोड़ 40 करोड़ सदका कर देते थे। तो आप अंदाजा लगाएं जब इतना सदका वो करते थे आज की वेल्थ के हिसाब से, तो कितनी उनकी अपनी वेल्थ कितनी होगी। तो इस्लाम एनकरेज करता है और एक बड़ी वाज़ेह हदीस है कि ऊपर वाला हाथ जो है वो नीचे वाले हाथ से बेहतर है। तो जब आप फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम हासिल करेंगे तो आपका हाथ यकीनन ऊपर वाला होगा। बस अब मैं कंक्लूड करूंगा अपनी इस प्रेजेंटेशन को एक बात कह के कि जो एक पौधा लगाया गया था शरिया कंप्लायंट इन्वेस्टमेंट का, जो कि अब तनावर दरख्त बनता जा रहा है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, उसकी आबियारी में जेएस ग्लोबल अपना भरपूर किरदार अदा कर रहा है। तो आखिर दावाना अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह रब्बिल आलमीन। थैंक यू सो मच।
जी बहुत शुक्रिया उसामा भाई। अगर आप लोगों के पार्टिसिपेंट्स के कोई सवालात हैं तो काइंडली हमारे साथ शेयर कीजिए। एंड once we have addressed all the questions, we will move towards Mr. Kaisar Anis. But I would like to take, let's say, a minute to see if we have any questions left. Mahin asked if this webinar would be available as a recording later on. Yes, we will share this webinar on our YouTube channel and then consecutively on all the social media channels as well. So you shall be able to revisit it later on. So before we move towards Mr. Kaisar, Dr. Kaisar Anis, all the gentlemen who have been with us, all the speakers, if you have anything else that you want to add in before we move to Kaisar Saab and the closing remarks, now is the time. Please let us know. I think Kaisar Saab, the stage is yours.
Assalamu alaikum, my dear fellow Pakistan is in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and other GCC countries. Thank you all for joining us today for this insightful webinar on the introduction to the capital market and Sharia-compliant investments. Your active participation and thoughtful questions made this session truly enriching. It's a great honor to be part of this webinar focused on Islamic capital market, Sharia-compliant investment, investing Islamic mutual funds, sukuk, and investor protection measures. I sincerely thank the Pakistan Stock Exchange, PSX, and the Security and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, SECP, for organizing this event for our overseas community. And this should continue every quarterly. I would like to thank our honorable speaker, of course, the leading one, Mr. Fahad, who is nicely coordinating with everyone, Mr. Ajit Kumar from Pakistan Stock Exchange, Mr. Murtada Abbasab from SECP, and Mr. Muhammad Ali Baba from HBL Asset Management, and Mr. Osama Yaqub from JS Global, and of course, Muhammad Iqbal Naseem, the president of the Pakistan Council. Your presence and engagement made this session truly meaningful. This is Council 11 series of a webinar with the Pakistan Stock Exchange, promoting and encouraging our fellow overseas Pakistani, and few times with the Security and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, SECP. And also we have done before with HBL Asset Management and also JS Global in the past. Our support to any initiative that which will benefit the overseas Pakistani for protecting the investment and earning income and keeping the funds in their foreign currency. We hope the insights shared today have deepened your understanding of ethical investing and the opportunity within Sharia-compliant financial instruments. Ladies and gentlemen, every year, Pakistani expatriates from all over the world remit more than 38 million. पूरे पाकिस्तान से तकरीबन 38 बिलियन यूएस डॉलर हर साल पाकिस्तान जाता है हर साल. It's a very big support by the overseas Pakistanis, imagine. जिसमें से GCC कंट्री से 30 बिलियन जाता है, रेमिटेंस जाता है वहां. And this is a massive contribution to our country and show your hard work and dedication by overseas Pakistan. It's all love for Pakistan. And of course, every Pakistani live for Pakistan. However, for the country of about 240 million people, 24 crore log has only around 3 lakh stock market ke account unke paas. This is a very small and fraction of the population. Certainly the capital market is still under it even for this. This is our point which council wants to say, that how we improve this number from 300,000, which is nothing. And this is a strategy should be made by Pakistan Stock Exchange, by SECP, that how we should take up this subject for the benefit of in Pakistan and outside Pakistan. Currently, Pakistan has 528 companies as per today's webinar listed in the PSX. And out of 51% is companies are Sharia compliant. This means that more than half of our listed company follow Islamic principle, offering you halal and ethical opportunity to invest. These include real companies generating jobs, contributing to economy and growing value in Sharia. Now, very rightly have been explained by Osama Yaqub Saab. I really appreciate his whole expression that what is Sharia compliant? The Sharia compliant is all companies are not involved in riba, means they are not charging interest. इन कंपनियों में जो 51% है उसमें उनकी आमदनी में रिबा नहीं है और गैम्बलिंग नहीं है, मार्केट स्पेकुलेटिव चीजें नहीं है, उसमें गरर नहीं है, अनसर्टेनिटी नहीं है, इट्स ए क्लियर वन, और उसमें कोई हराम एक्टिविटीज नहीं है. इस वजह से कन्वेंशन है उसमें ये ख्याल नहीं किया जाता है, और इस्लामी है उसमें ये ख्याल किया जाता है. और इस शरिया कंप्लाइंट क्या प्रमोट करता है? प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस शेयरिंग, लाइक मुदारबा, मुशारका, एसेट बैक ट्रांजैक्शन, इजारा, मुराबा एंड एथिकल इन्वेस्टमेंट. ये बहुत बड़ी चीज है, इस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है पाकिस्तान में. ये मैं क्यों ये एक्सप्रेस कर रहा हूँ, इसका रीजन है, कौन क्वालिफाई करता है जो ये काम करा रहा है? वो पाकिस्तान स्टॉक एक्सचेंज करते हैं इन कोलैबोरेशन. बहुत से लोग मीजान बैंक और शरिया बोर्ड जैसे जेएस ग्लोबल भी काम कर रहे हैं, इसी तरह और भी लोग काम करते हैं. तो शरिया स्क्रीनिंग क्राइटेरिया इज बिजनेस एक्टिव मस्ट बी हलाल, financial ratio must meet Islamic threshold, regular reviews are conducted semi-annually, Pakistan's limit by crypto Ummah. So these are the things should be taken care. And which compliance are Sharia compliant PSX? So as we said, more than 250 companies are listed in Sharia compliant on PSX. These, as rightly said, is PSX, KMI all shares index, KMI 30 index, Mizan Pakistan index. So these are all Sharia compliant indexes. Well, example of top Sharia compliant stock includes companies in sector like energy. They are covered cement, pharmaceutical, technology, Pakistan Stock Exchange, Limit Islamic blog also there. So anyone can invest in Sharia compliant investment, but they are specially designed for individuals who want their financial activity to align with Islamic principle. Who can invest? It is not necessary that only Muslim can invest. Anyone can invest. that Sharia compliant does not mean कि only मुसलमानी लोग को ही ये शेयर है. इसमें ethical investors भी हैं जो ये चाहते हैं कि मेरी आमदनी जो है वो ऐसी नहीं होनी चाहिए, हराम नहीं होनी चाहिए. So they are ethical investor also of any faith who prefer socially responsible investing in Sharia compliant funds, often exclude industry like alcohol, tobacco and weapons. मैं और एग्जाम्पल दूंगा. जैसे हम लोग हलाल गोश्त खाते हैं हर जगह, तो कहीं भी जाते हैं बाहर हलाल गोश्त. अब हमने देखा है कि नॉन मुस्लिम भी हलाल गोश्त कहते हैं सेहत के लिए अच्छा है. तो ये भी इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए अच्छी चीज है. तो it is open for everyone, and this point should be protected by this institution, that this is not limited to only Muslims, it can be limited to anyone. फिर institutional investors भी हैं सर. वहाँ पे जैसे आपने शुरू में कहा institutional investment है, इसमें इस्लामिक बैंक है, तकाफुल है, ये सारी कंपनीज हैं. And these are the very important subject which we are doing here. And through Islamic financial products such as mutual funds, sukuk, regular deposit account, Russian equity investment, you can invest confidently, grow your wealth and achieve your real life goal. Whether buying a home, funding your children's education, planning marriages, securing your financial future, all in Sharia compliant, as Habib Mutual Fund was explaining. Focus on that. And one key factor for the growth of our capital market is investor confidence. When investors trust the market, know they're right and protected, and can access transparent information, the market flourishes. That is why broker, PSX, and SECP must work together to create products that help overseas Pakistani invest easily and safely. And also for Pakistani also, not only limit to overseas Pakistani. While webinar, which we are doing now, are helpful, they cannot replace the power of face-to-face interaction. I recommend PSX, SECP, hold quarterly roadshow in Dubai and Saudi Arabia or any other GC country where Pakistani can meet expert in person, ask questions, and clear doubts about personal engagement, building confidence, and strengthen. So we have a track record on that. Pakistan Business Council have arranged a very good roadshow here in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and where Hanif Jakura Saab, that time the CTC person, Allah unko jannat mein jagah de, he led it that. I invited them, and we have still those accounts they are maintaining. Like we council are doing quarterly this. If you make twice in a year, come in the month of March, show your performance, and then come in the month of October, November, you can get a lot of investment from here. And there are very much people willing to invest, but the knowledge is less. And now, ladies and gentlemen, investing in Sharia compliant stock and funds is not just about growing wealth, it's about contributing to Pakistan economy, supporting ethical business, and ensuring your hard-earned money works for you and your family. On this account, I will, one more thing I'll identify here, that to attract not only Pakistani, you can, we have a Sharia compliant, Saudi national, UAE national, Qatari national, they can come and invest, because this opportunity they do not have anywhere. So I will suggest that when you are part coming here, don't limit to Pakistani. Limit that we are doing for the Saudis, we are doing this program for UAE nationals and other people. This will help you a lot in attracting and promoting your fund. And sure, if you have, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Sure, if you have that, then you have a roadshow, council can help on that account. And we regularly do that. The other advantage Pakistani has, which I always say, is the Russian digital account, where the State Bank of Pakistan has provided the facility that you can open the account in the US dollar, and then you work with Pakistan Stock Exchange. And there you can do Sharia compliant, and your money is still, you get back in dollars. This point to be emphasized. that all Pakistani not to fear that the Pak rupee, my dollar Pak rupee will go down. They can invest in Pakistan Stock Exchange, and if you have earning of dividend, if you have earning for any capital gain, you can get that back in dollar, US dollar. So you're completely safe, and big promotion on that account. So there's all facility provided to Overseas Pakistani, and I appreciate the State Bank of Pakistan on this. And Overseas Pakistan encourage them investing in Roshar digital account, which we counsel doing every quarter. And this platform designed to empower Overseas Pakistan to contribute with national development while secure, flexible, ethical investments. Again, on behalf of the Pakistan Business Professional Council Abu Dhabi, I thank to our speakers and panelists for their valuable contribution. I must introduce Pakistan Business Professional Council. We are established nearly 20 years, near 2004, and we are working than that with the support of Pakistani community, business community, professionals here. Mr. Iqbal Naseem is the president. We have a board of nearly 11, 12 people who was running that, and we are networking with Dubai, Abu Dhabi, whole up to Ras Al Khaimah. We have a branch there in Ras Al Khaimah. So those are the thing, and I also want to thank the Pakistan Stock Exchange, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar, chairperson, and Farooq Sabzari, CEO. All regards to him and the team of PSX for the support and cooperation for the webinar. Fawaz Saab and all my friends in Pakistan Stock Exchange. And Akif Said Saab, chairman of SCCP, thank you for very much. Just to update on Roshan Digital Account, we have now nearly 900,000 accounts opened by Pakistanis in 160 countries. 160 countries Pakistanis are there. And we are now reaching 11 billion. We are crossing 11 billion account, which has been opened. And of course, in this, Naya Pakistan certificate, 485 million. Naya Pakistan Islamic certificate, 958 million, and Russian equity investment, 82 billion. So these are the briefly from here. Again, I thank all the listeners, and I would like everyone to come forward. And this webinar, which is there, you can tell them they can look on themselves through YouTube, and they can get knowledge. To conclude this, I would again write PSX for working such a strongly, harshly, but I think 300,000 is very less number. We council can come to you and see how to promote to make to a target of million in the first phase, and we are there for this. Thank you very much, Fawaz Saab, and thank to everyone and all the listener on the participant on this event. If you have any questions to me, I'm there always.
Thank you, Dr. Saab, and all the valued speakers today. I hope जो viewers हैं उनको हम ये बहुत अच्छे तरीके से दो सेशंस के थ्रू जो इन्फॉर्मेशन हम तक पहुंचाना चाह रहे थे, जो सवालात लोगों के थे related to the RDA, REI, as well as Sharia-compliant investment. I hope we were able to address all those queries. And if you, as Dr. Saab said, if you have more questions, you can directly write to his team, or you can drop us an email at info@psx.com.pk. We would forward your emails to the respective speakers that were present today or in the first part of this webinar. Thank you, everybody who joined us today, all the speakers, all the participants. Inshallah, we will see you in the next one. Take care.